Good morning. Good morning. My hair is a mess. Actually, I need to step away just to adjust my hair. I will be right back, guys. All righty. Get my music off. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Write With Me. I am Danita Jones. Here we do two 25-minute sprints with a 5-10 minute break in between. And actually, I need to drop in here into my comments. Normally, I already have this done, but I'm running a little late on this Monday morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Let's see here. Drop in the chat what you're working on today. Let's see here. Welcome message. Okay, and we'll pin this. Alrighty. And let's see here. Good morning, Amy. Need to get some solid words this week. Okay, awesome. Let's get it done. I'm continuing my research. I'm typing in the chat. My research. No, it shows that it's. Oh, I see. Yes, you're right. Let me unpin. When yours popped up, I was in the midst of pinning mine. Thank you. So, okay, let's try this again. There we go. Thank you, Amy, for letting me know. I'm continuing my research. Crosby. Massacre. Okay. And alrighty, I finished my syllabus. The department chair approved it. So, but she just wanted me to have one other teacher who actually teaches this class normally to look at over, and so hopefully I can just upload it today because I've got a lot going on this week. I'm teaching at Harvard Westlake High School tomorrow with my plan for my civics lesson that I'm giving them. And so, yeah, just got a lot going on and still trying to figure out this whole Canvas system for the schools and all that stuff. So, and next Monday is my first day of class at Chapman. So, well, with all that saying, yes, it's a very exciting times, Amy. Very exciting. So yeah, just trying to do my time management correctly and so forth, and get it all done. So I'm keeping my head about me. So with that said, let's get into our first sprint. Where did I leave off? Good morning, Yule. Good morning, Devin. Happy Monday. Tapped the like button. Thank you. Now I'm storing all the things from the book event from last Saturday. Okay, great. Awesome. And welcome. Okay, that was our first sprint. How did it go for everyone? For me, I am still in William McGee's testimony. I'm almost done. I just have a few more things to go through, and then I'll be on to the next one. So, Miss Page says that went really well. Wonderful. That's great. How about you, Devin? How did it go? And Yule? People are still here. Let's see and scroll. So, I'm a little off of my goal. I really want to be in outline for book one by February or the top of February. I think it's going to be most likely middle of February, if not the end. So we shall see. Um, and Miss Page says, morning and happy Monday to Devin and to Yule. So, um, But in the meantime, though, I've been playing around. I don't know if I mentioned this to the people that are on here, um, a lot with Notebook LM. And even just now, I wanted clarification about something that McGee said. And so I had typed it in there. And because I wanted to know what he meant by the assemblies and C. Um, and so it was saying that it's possibly, pertains to political gatherings and club meetings and public speeches. Um, but I just love Notebook LM. I had uploaded all of the 500 pages of testimonies to Notebook LM. And whenever I have a question about anything or just need more organization about, the timeline and who was dealing with what, I go right to that, and it's easy to pull up what I'm looking for. Um, and Amy says, Ms. Page says, once to finish the story in February, have planned to launch in February, but at this point, we'll be thrilled just to get it to the editor. I feel you there. It's always just about, hey, let's try and just get to the finish line, right? And then to hand it off to the editor. And it's always so great when you finally get to that stage and it's like, okay, I have my book. Let me turn it over to the editor, and then I can get to go through that next phase. Miss Page says progress, and Devin says morning at Miss Page. So, with Notebook LM, I decided to finally I had a chance to play around with some of the other tools like the podcast tools and the video, and it did a really great job. I had to go back in and add a note to it for the sources, and because it was especially for the podcast. Like for instance, if I end up using that and posting that on YouTube or posting it on my Substack, I wanted to use more current language, and so it always referred to Black people as colored people, and so I wanted to update the languaging in that. It really didn't do it too well, even when I when I reran it and put in that note. So I have to see about that, or just give a disclaimer, So, um, but it did really. It was pretty remarkable. I don't know if anyone else has tried Notebook LM yet, but I it's one of my favorite AI tools right now. And Yul says, "Great morning to you, Miss Page." So, well, I really don't have anything else right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get back into the next sprint. The timer will hit when it's about to start. We got 34 seconds. And if you have any other questions or comments or anything, just please drop them in the chat. All right, time for the next sprint. Oh, I see. I understand things now. Okay. is impressive. That's really impressive. All right. That is time. Um, that is the end of our sprint. How did that sprint go for everyone? See, Devin says, leaving up for runtime, have to leave for an appointment. Okay, well, I'm so happy you were here, Devin. Thank you for being here. And you know what? I'm going to put this in his chat because I won't be here tomorrow. And so just note, I won't be live tomorrow. Tuesday. Um, is that January 27th, I think? Okay. How did it go for everyone else? I found out some really, I finished McGee's testimony. And toward the end of his testimony, they were asking him about, and McGee is one of Peter Crosby's deputies, and he's a white man. He was asked about how many Black people own land that he knew of. Because the thing is with Peter Crosby, being the sheriff, he's also a tax collector. And so most of the reason why, or not most, the reason why the white supremacists wanted him out of office because they said his bond was insufficient. So they're asking McGee about Black people owning land. And to my surprise, I mean, and he named a lot of names of all the Black people that own land in the county. He also said that um, he named about 10 names, I want to say. He says, but I believe I could name 100 others who own land in the city and land outside. Those are some of the largest that I have names. Um, the men whom I have named own thousands of acres. Two I named perhaps on more land than anybody else in the county. When we were taught history and what we know, and then even from film and television, it seemed like all Black people were just poor, subservient, just took whatever came. But there was, they had a lot of wealth in the South. I mean, and I know in Mississippi there, um, the property were cost much less, especially after the Civil War. But many Black people were able to purchase land, and to see these numbers of thousands of acres and even more land than even more land than the thousands of acres is pretty impressive. And so I was like, wow, we just weren't taught these things. And I think about the esteem of Black kids, like if they knew these things growing up, that would affect them completely different in their belief system about themselves, and so that's another reasons why I love telling these stories, these history stories, these stories that we just were never taught, and it's like, oh, that is just so great to know. But it also shows me too that one of the reasons why the white supremacists were so hell bent on getting rid of Black people, because they want to get the land, hence how everything has been in this country in the first place, taking the Native Americans land, the Mexican War of 1812, which President Polk um, put in place, was for false pretenses. Even Abraham Lincoln said, you're lying about this. And so, but that's how they took over that territory that Mexico actually owned. And so, and then, we see that currently now with the whole thing with Greenland, which is so insane. Now that we have um, uh, with climate change, and the things are melting in Greeceland, and it's being more applicable to be able to live there. And then they have all these, minerals, all these resources, all this oil choose. Oh, that's with Venezuela. It always comes back down to money, right? Conquer because of money, and so and not let people just live their lives, you know. So, but that's it for me today. I hope you had a great writing session today, whether if you were writing, researching, or doing admin work. I hope it was a good one. And just a reminder, I will not be here tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday. And next week, I'm changing up my schedule for the rest of the spring. I will just be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as I start my new semester at teaching at Chapman. So thank you, y'all. I'm gonna miss you guys too. We'll miss you too. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, happy Monday. Take care.